Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, the latest on Senate Bill 1062 and our weekly political update with the Arizona Capital Times. We'll also hear how folks in Tucson are reacting to SB 1062 in our monthly series Southern Exposure, and we'll look at plans to increase the efficiency of solar thermal projects. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The fallout continues over Senate Bill 1062, which gives legal protection to those who deny services based on sincerely held religious beliefs. Here with the latest in our weekly political update is Hank Stevenson of the Arizona Capital Times. And Hank, we should note that we are live here at 5:30 this afternoon, this evening. We'll rebroadcast again at 10 o'clock. By 10 o'clock tonight, we may well know what the governor's going to do. She's supposed to speak here in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like veto watch is finally coming to an end here. Brewer's been kind of teasing the public with some tweets and some kind of remarks that you can't tell which way she's leaning, although, I mean, most political observers, I think, would be shocked if she signed the bill into law today. But in a couple of minutes here, we should know. So
indeed. And again, you would think that if she acts this quickly, it would be to veto in order to keep the damage at a minimum. I mean, every day that goes on, the damage is out there. You wrote quite a piece on reality versus rhetoric in the SB 1062 debate. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching a little bit of MSNBC and CNN and some of the national news networks to kind of get a feel for what's happening outside of our little capital sphere. And it's amazing kind of the different takes on what this bill does. And you get the same thing kind of echoed at the legislature. You get Republicans saying this has nothing to do with gays. You have Democrats saying this could force discrimination of all sorts of people. And the truth is somewhere kind of in between. This bill is obviously aimed at allowing some sorts of discrimination against the gay population. There are federal protections and state protections, for that matter, against other populations.
There are also city protections for LGBT community, and those city protections now, they are impacted by this bill.
That's the one place where this bill really will have an impact, is in Phoenix, Tucson, and Flagstaff, which have anti-discrimination ordinances which protect the LGBT community from certain types of discrimination. With this, if this bill were to become law, basically the effect would be to somewhat negate those anti-discrimination ordinances, not entirely in order to discriminate or to say I'm not going to serve a gay person in my business. You would have to prove that it does substantially burden your religious beliefs in order to be able to deny them services. And those kinds of protections, even if the bill were signed in law, don't exist in the rest of the state outside of those specific municipalities.
When this bill was being, first of all, at the Capitol, are folks surprised at the reaction?
I think folks on both sides are somewhat surprised about the reaction. Certainly Republicans didn't see it coming. Democrats were warning about this, but we debated almost the exact same bill last year. It was passed to Governor Brewer. She vetoed it, but she vetoed it in a stack of bills that she had kind of warned the legislature, don't send me anything right now because you haven't finished the budget and Medicaid expansion. And so I think everyone's kind of shocked at how much attention this has gotten, especially since it was something that last year flew under the radar, and it frankly flew under the radar until it was passed to the governor's desk late last week.
Indeed. So what happened here? Why did this time? I mean, bills pass the legislature all the time, and eyebrows are raised almost constantly at these things. Why is this different?
That's a really good question. I mean, that's something we're kind of trying to get to the bottom of. This has just kind of caught the attention of national groups to the point that we haven't seen since Senate Bill 1070. I mean, if you turn on the national news any time in the last week, Arizona is usually starting the show, which is just fascinating. And these kinds of laws or bills are being proposed in a lot of other state legislatures. It's a trend that's kind of catching on in other conservative states. But the difference between last year and this year, I think it was a very smooth PR operation. I think that the Democrats and some of the groups who are against this bill really just managed to grab the issue by the horns and kind of handle it. They've done an impressive job on getting out their message, at least.
And you've got everyone in the anyone of any stature in the business community here in Arizona, in Phoenix and in Arizona around the state. They are vigorously against this. They are vociferously against this. Where are all these this thing passed the legislature, besides maybe a Steve Yarborough, who was a co-sponsor of this thing. Where are all the proponents? Where are they making speeches somewhere that we're not hearing them? Why aren't they in front of this parade?
You know, I saw a good clip on CNN last night where there was a reporter chasing members of the legislature, Republicans, back and forth from the House and the Senate, trying to get them to defend the law. And it was 3 or 4 of the lawmakers just flat shutting her out, saying, no, I don't want to talk about it. There's been a lot of misconceptions about this bill, but I don't care to clear the air on it. So they're being very, very quiet right now, other than the Center for Arizona Policy, one of the Christian lobbies, who's very, very powerful at the Capitol. This was their bill last year, their bill this year. They've come out supporting it, and basically their message is read the law. It doesn't say anything about gays, for example, but it doesn't need to say anything. It doesn't need to have the word gay in it to impact the gay community.
Indeed. And last question here. Again, as we wait the governor, she's supposed to speak here in another 10 minutes or so, and we'll try to get that for you as soon as she does make her announcement whether or not she's going to veto or sign 1062 as we record here live right now, but we'll replay it again a little bit later on this evening. Is this the kind of thing that will stick with this legislature? Is this, obviously the Medicaid fight last year stuck to a certain degree. You still got factions down there. Can this be tearing the GOP caucus apart? What's the fallout from this?
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that the fallout from this is they close up shop a little bit earlier. They focus on the budget, get it done, get it passed, send it to Brewer, everyone goes home bruised but happy. So that's my personal hope.
Well, all right, Hank, it's good to have you here. And again, when the governor comes back, if we have time to talk to you, get a response from you and what you're hearing regarding Twitter and the social media regarding what she says, we'd love to get you back. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Along US 93 between Kingman and Lake Mead is a marker to a ghost town known as the 6-Year Wonder. 8 miles away is the original site of the town of White Hills, where 15 mines produced more than $12 million in gold and silver. When word of the strike finally got out, White Hills went from nothing to a town of 1,500 in 2 years. At its height, White Hills boasted a post office, electric and telephone service, general stores, a schoolhouse, and plenty of saloons. By 1914, the boom had gone bust. And by the 1930s, the ruins remained, yet the people were gone. Today, there's little left to remind us of the rapid rise and fall of White Hills.
The music of Calexico points us toward Tucson for our monthly update of issues from the southern part of the state. And joining us is Jim Nintzel, senior writer for the Tucson Weekly. Jim, good to have you here again. We're now waiting for the governor to make her announcement whether or not she's going to sign or veto SB 1062. As soon as we get that, we'll try to go to it. If not, we'll get some reaction. Either or, what is the reaction in southern Arizona to all of this?
Same as I think everywhere else. You've got a massive amount of people who are opposed to the legislation and a handful of people who seem to be supporting it. But the opposition stretches from, the faith community to the Democrats to Republicans. A Republican National Committeeman, Bruce Ash, who lives in Tucson, has come out against this legislation. And I was at the mayor's State of the City speech today, and he brought up the bill and said it was damaging, and you got a huge roar out of the business community that had assembled to hear what he had to say.
Interesting.
So, a lot of opposition to this legislation.
Representative Ethan Orr was one of 3 Republicans to initially vote against this bill. Who is Ethan Orr describe his district and explain why he would have voted no. Was this a profile in courage or a profile in political expediency?
I think Ethan opposed the bill for reasons that he just believed it was bad legislation. And he represents a very interesting district down in Tucson. It's a district that is relatively competitive. It's split pretty evenly between Democrats, Republicans, and independents. He has a Democratic housemate. There's two representatives there. One's a Democrat, Victoria Steele, and then Ethan is the Republican who represents it. And he's going to have a very tough race this year because he's actually been opposed this year by Randall Freese, who was one of the emergency room physicians who was on duty when Gabby Giffords arrived, the very first person to see the Congresswoman as she was rolled into the emergency room, and first one to care for her. So he's got a really strong campaign going. So Ethan's got a tough re-election race on his hands.
With that in mind, does his no vote on this particular bill help or hurt his campaign?
I think it helps him in the district that he's in a general election, without a doubt. He also voted for the Medicaid expansion last year. On the other hand, he's voted for a lot of things that Democrats don't like, and gun laws. He voted to help repeal that election law that was passed last year. So the Democrats are saying, you know, he's no moderate. He's trying to put himself in a position where he appears to be a moderate.
Interesting. All right. Senator Al Melvin, also from Southern Arizona, very much in support of this bill. Talk to us about Al Melvin. Talk to us about his district. Who does he represent?
Well, he represents actually a district a little further north. He's from the Saddlebrook area, which is a retirement community in the southern Arizona area. And his district is a very strong Republican district. However, he's decided to run for governor this year. He's a gubernatorial candidate. He had certainly a spectacular appearance on CNN earlier this week with Anderson Cooper that's gotten a lot of attention, in which it seemed as if he was in a different world than Anderson Cooper was in. This is a long shot run for the governor for Al Melvin. I'm not quite sure what he's thinking in terms of why he thinks he could be competitive in a primary there, but it is the end of his legislative career.
Yeah, I think he's thinking clean elections can get him on board and he can just ride this thing out to whatever sunset he can find.
I think that's a pretty good paycheck from clean elections.
Does Tucson, Southern Arizona in general, do folks down there feel a disconnect from the Capitol?
Absolutely. There is not a lot of attention paid to what's going on at the Capitol in southern Arizona. If you ask people who their state lawmaker is, most people are not going to be able to tell you. They're just not in tune with what happens down there, probably because we are so far away from the Capitol that the day-to-day movement of legislation we don't see that much of.
Yeah, and we talked, when you're on your last appearance, we talked about things happening in downtown Tucson and the city of Tucson, its political makeup and such. Does it really feel like you're almost in a different state down there?
Absolutely. It's very different, I think, from Maricopa County. Our sheriff's a very different personality than your Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio, for example.
Indeed. All right. Some other news, again, as we await the governor. She should be speaking here in another 3, 4, 5, 10, whenever she decides to speak. As soon as she does, we will try to get that for you, or at least get the information for you as she makes a decision, we think, on SB 1062. Until then, more news from Tucson. Defense Secretary wants to cut the A-10 Warthog fleet. These talk to us about, first of all, what the A-10 is and how important is this fleet to southern Arizona?
It's hugely important to southern Arizona. It's based at Davis-Monthan. These are fighter jets that the Army really appreciates because they can swing in very low and assist troops that are under fire or in some kind of trouble. The A-10 is a jet that they really depend on to come to their rescue in those kinds of situations. And it's a very flexible weapon, and but it is on its way out. The Air Force is now working on these F-35 jets, the next generation of fighter jets, and it appears as if, judging from what the Defense Secretary says, he wants to retire the fleet altogether. The Army is not excited about that. They like the jet a great deal. They say the F-35 is not going to be able to perform the same kind of support functions. So there's a little bit of a battle going on there.
Well, let's talk about the importance of Davis-Monthan to southern Arizona as far as the economy, as far as just everything down there. And is there thought, I think the next space closing around like 2017 or something like that. Is there thought that Davis-Monthan is in someone's targets?
That would be the concern if we did not have the A-10, certainly, because that's one of the primary missions down there. There are other missions that Davis-Monthan serves, and there's a wonderful boneyard down there. If you're a fan of jets, you can go down and take a look at some of these retired jets that are down there. But a lot of concern that losing Davis-Monthan, which is a key linchpin of the southern Arizona economy, would be tremendously damaging to southern Arizona.
Okay, and we should mention Fort Huachuca. That's still big with drones and cybersecurity and all those sorts of things. Correct?
Yes.
They're still very much in business along those lines.
Exactly, yes.
So southern Arizona, between Davis-Monthan and Fort Huachuca, a lot of military activity, a lot of security work down there.
Yeah, we definitely count on that to help keep the economy rolling in our part of the world.
Rosemont Mine. What is the Rosemont Mine? Where is it located? Where will it be? Is it going to happen? Is it a done deal? What's going on with this thing?
It's getting closer to getting approval. It's a massive open pit mine that would be located in the Santa Rita Mountains, which are south of Tucson, but still within Pima County. And this mine operation has been underway for about 6 years of getting approvals from the federal government, because although the mining company owns the land they'd like to mine, they need U.S. Forest Service land in order to dump all their tailings and waste material and their mine operations. So they've been working with the federal government now for about 6 years to get all their permits. They're getting very close to completing that process, but there's one very key permit they haven't gotten for the Clean Water Act, and that is being held up by the EPA at this point. They're in negotiations with the EPA. The EPA has raised a lot of red flags about the impact of the water and what this mine would do to the water supply down in Arizona, or southern Arizona. So we're waiting to see exactly what comes out of that. Rosemont is very confident they're going to get it. The opponents are confident that Rosemont will not get it, and the whole thing will probably go to court no matter what ruling comes forward.
And is this mine, is it politically popular, publicly popular, or unpopular? What do people think of this thing?
Nearly all the elected officials are opposed to this mine.
Opposed to it?
Yes. A lot of the, there's a very vocal opposition to the mine, because this is a beautiful area of the state. It's an area that depends a lot on tourism, and they're afraid that opening up this mine is going to permanently despoil this area for about 20 years worth of jobs, and they're very concerned that this is not a good deal for other industries in southern Arizona.
All right, before we let you go, Tucson Weekly, celebrating 30 years. Describe the Tucson Weekly and where it fits in the Tucson media landscape.
Well, we're now the second largest newspaper in southern Arizona, come out every week. You can find us online at www.tucsonweekly.com.
All right.
And we are a heck-raising newspaper that covers politics, science, rock and roll, the arts, you name it. We're probably writing about it in southern Arizona, and we try to tell the stories of southern Arizona. We're locally owned by the WIC Communications, which is located down in Sierra Vista, Arizona.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. We're going to go right now to the governor, because she is about to announce, we think, whether she will sign or veto SB 1062. Here we go.
With every proposal that reaches my desk, I give great concern and careful evaluation and deliberate consideration, and especially to Senate Bill 1062. I call them like I see them, despite the cheers or the boos from the crowd. I took the necessary time to make the right decision. I met or spoke with my attorneys, lawmakers, and citizens supporting and opposing this legislation. As governor, I have asked questions and I have listened. I have protected religious freedoms when there is a specific and present concern that exists in our state, and I have a record to prove it. My agenda is to sign into law legislation that advances Arizona. When I addressed the legislature earlier this year, I made my priorities for this session abundantly clear. Among them are passing a responsible budget that continues Arizona's economic comeback. From CEOs to entrepreneurs to business surveys, Arizona ranks as one of the best states to grow or start a business. Additionally, our immediate challenge is fixing a broken child protection system. Instead, this is the first policy bill to cross my desk. Senate Bill 1062 does not address a specific or present concern related to religious liberty in Arizona. I have not heard of one example in Arizona where a business owner's religious liberty has been violated. The bill is broadly worded and could result in unintended and negative consequences. After weighing all of the arguments, I have vetoed Senate Bill 1062 moments ago. To the supporters of this legislation, I want you to know that I understand that long-held norms about marriage and family are being challenged as never before. Our society is undergoing many dramatic changes. However, I sincerely believe that Senate Bill 1062 has the potential to create more problems than it purports to solve. I could divide Arizona in ways we cannot even imagine, and no one would ever want. Religious liberty is a core American and Arizona value. So is non-discrimination. Going forward, let's turn the ugliness of the debate over Senate Bill 1062 into a renewed search for greater respect and understanding among all Arizonans and Americans. Thank you.
Opponents of this bill say this isn't about discrimination, that it doesn't discriminate. Thank you, Governor. It's a lot of fun.
All right, there you have it. Again, the governor has vetoed SB 1062. We have Hank Stevenson of the Arizona Capital Times joining us again, as we had you earlier this evening before the announcement. We've got you now after the announcement. Not really a surprise.
No, I think most people would have been shocked had it gone the other way. I haven't talked to a single person since Friday who thought that she was going to sign this bill. On Friday, last week, it was kind of up in the air, 50-50. Just the change in the tone of the debate, the direction that this was going, made it abundantly clear that she was going to veto this legislation.
And she mentioned the economic comeback that she likes to talk about regarding Arizona in her time in office. Doesn't help that, doesn't address, she said, a specific or pressing concern. She hasn't seen one example that this bill would address. Broadly worded, more problems than it solves. We had heard that she was going to spend today and tomorrow, perhaps, and maybe tomorrow or Friday, make her decision. It sounds like that decision needed to be as soon as possible.
Yeah, the business community has been kind of urging her, hey, let's get this over with. If you're going to veto the bill, do it sooner rather than let this drag on. Brewer kind of has a sense for the dramatic. She put it off for a couple of days, and she might have been studying the bill and listening to supporters and opponents, but there's not that much to really figure out on this. The media, had a day to do it. So Brewer finally made the decision and moving on.
Yeah, and this is yet another loss for Kathy Herod and the Center for Arizona Policy. Talk to us real quickly. Who is Kathy Herod? What is the Center for Arizona Policy? And why do so many of these bills that wind up getting past the legislature wind up not making it into law, either because of judicial action or governor veto? Yeah,
they have had a lot of bills struck down in recent years through the court system. The Center for Arizona Policy is the major Christian lobby in the state. They're very, very powerful. I spoke to a Republican today who said, we are honestly fearful to vote against Kathy's legislation because they hold so much sway over the election process. They hold so much influence at the Capitol, and they really don't forget somebody who votes against them.
And we should mention that the response outside the Capitol, a lot of folks are out there. We saw ABC 15's feed, and a lot of folks are out there very calm. It sounds like folks were cheering as we heard that, but nothing crazy going on out there. Are we going to see anything crazy going on at the legislature in terms of trying to reintroduce something like this, or see divides emerge because of this?
No, I absolutely, it won't get reintroduced this year. Who knows, maybe they'll bring it back, a different legislature, a different governor next year. But I think that Republicans who voted for this issue, a lot of them have changed their minds on it, whether it be publicly or privately. We've had quite a few come out and support or against the bill since initially supporting it. It wouldn't have the votes to make it out of the chamber at this point. Yeah,
especially with the three guys, as you mentioned, the three already saying that they would like to get their vote back. Does this energize the business community? We thought that the Medicaid debate last session might have energized the business community. Obviously, they were nowhere to be found during this particular episode. Are they getting some claws down there, getting some teeth?
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things that a lot of opponents of the bill brought up immediately. Had the business community come out 2-3 days before, we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't be asking whether she would be signing or vetoing. It would have died on the floor. I think this kind of boosts them at the Capitol. I think more than anything, this advances the LGBT community in the state. They really prove that they can get out there and organize and make a difference in a way that they never have before in this state.
I guess that's a good point. Well, Hank, we thank you so much for your time and for your insight, again, as we heard before and after the governor's decision. And we should mention that again, as you saw here live, courtesy of ABC 15, the governor has vetoed SB 1062, saying it does not advance Arizona, does not solve any problems that she has seen, any specific problems. Broadly worded, and it seems to be a problem for Arizona as opposed to a solution to a problem for Arizona. Tomorrow on Arizona Horizon, we will talk about the political and the economic impacts of the debate over Senate Bill 1062, and we will also invite you to join us for more discussion on the governor's action of 1062, along with American pop art, an exhibit that is highlighted in Tempe. That is it for now. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.